The Spurs have their eyes on Chris Paul and are considering making a run at him, according to our Mark Stein. Meanwhile, league sources are saying the Clippers aren't taking the threat of losing Paul lightly. Now, keep in mind, the Clippers can outbid any suitor for Paul. He's eligible for a 5-year deal worth an estimated $205 million from L.A. Stephen A., if CP3 joins the Spurs, what impact will this really have on the Western Conference?
Nothing. Not much at all. They'll be good enough to get back to the Western Conference Finals, and then they'll go home. It'll be a big deal for CP3 because he's never played in the Conference Finals. And I happen to believe he is a great point guard and a great player, but he's undersized. And he's not a top 5 player. When you're talking about super teams, you're talking about 2 of the top 5 players in the world being on the same squad. Kawhi Leonard may be that guy, but Chris Paul is not a top 5 player. He's a top 5 point guard, but he's not a top 5 player. He still has to go against Golden State with the arsenal that they'd have in play, because I'm told that both Steph Curry and Kevin Durant will end up staying in Golden State beyond this season. And so when you look at it from that perspective, what's he going to do? The San Antonio Spurs were in the conference finals without him. They lost in the conference finals without him. The same thing would likely happen again with him. That's really what the situation is right now. And the only thing I'd like to say other than that is that if CP3 were to leave the Clippers, that's not a good look for Doc Rivers. You can't have a CP3, your best player, because CP3 is clearly their best player. You can't have CP3 want to leave you when you're in a position to offer him $50 million more than anybody else can. And he still leaves you. That would not be a good look for Doc Rivers at all. That much I will say.